Our top story, the Quincy School Board suspends its superintendent and 2 Denman elementary teachers at today's special school board meeting. It's in the wake of a DCFS and state school board investigation. WGEM's Dylan Smith has more about those decisions from today's meeting.
The incident at hand involves reports from parents reporting their concerns over birthday spankings and the use of tape over students' mouths by 2 teachers at Denman. Superintendent Pettit announced earlier this summer that QPS launched their own investigation, and so did DCFS. School Board President Shelley Arns says today the board made their decision based on how the internal investigation was handled and the communication or lack thereof to parents. Arns says a suspension without pay would have given QPS a 30-day deadline to figure things out, but they want more time.
I just think ultimately, as the head of a district, you have to be that final answerer for the district. And I think in this particular situation, there were several steps that just fell short, and that we would have liked to see more leadership from that office.
How long the suspensions will be is still unclear because there's no firm timeline on the state's investigation. Arns says the goal from here on is to rebuild trust with the community. The school year starts in 2 weeks. Dylan Smith, WGEM News.
Now, in the meantime, the board is also implementing what it calls a Denman action plan, and here's what that means according to Arns. A review of the staff handbook, assessment of possible blind spots without security cameras, review of complaint procedures, and a climate check.